Guys, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in this video we are going to take a close look at the RetroStation PC Edition. For the people familiar to these products, yes, it's the familiar RetroStation 40K, but only the PC Edition. But for the people who are not familiar with the RetroStation in general, it has nothing to do with PlayStation 5. It's just basically a box. It can be an Android box, but in this case it's going to be in PC, where we can play a lot of retro games with. Depending on what kind of model you're having, like the RetroStation PC, we can play a lot of different things. And with a lot of different things, think about the old school retro stuff, but also up to Nintendo GameCube is possible to run on these devices. But how good it will run, that is something we'll find out in this video. Alright guys, so what are we going to get inside the package? So first of all, it's basically a Windows PC. So also we have the functionality of having a dual boot, so switching between the Bodashira software, whether the system is running the retro games or the Windows 10. It's quite an interesting concept, but what are we going to get inside? We're going to get inside the manual itself, or manual, like basically like some printed stuff that you're going to get. But it did a very nice explanation how the dual boot works and how you can get into the system. Inside the package we're going to get two controllers, but we're going to take a close look later. Then we're going to get another wireless Bluetooth game handle manual, because this is the manual for the controllers. We're going to get ourselves a wireless keyboard in this kit, because it is really convenient if you just want to have the functionalities of Bodashira or Windows itself. And here we're having where all the magic happens, that is the mini PC. But how about the controller quality? In the past I've reviewed some of these super controlling devices, and the Chinese are always giving me these crappy controllers. I have seen these controllers, some brands and AliExpress sell them, and I must say that this is not bad at all. We're going to get trigger buttons, and the fake ones from China don't have those because they are like PlayStation 2 knockoffs. The L1 and R1, or the better said, the shoulder buttons feel very nice. The controllers are what's smaller like usual, but they feel very comfortable. And clickies D-pad. The analog sticks feel very nice, so an overall built-in lithium battery. So this thing feels like a way better quality than we have seen before with the Super Console X. So extra kudos for the controllers. But let's take a close look at the mini PC that has an Intel inside. So this is not AMD Ryzen based. That is something you can see maybe in the future with other brands, or maybe also with this brand, you never know. But most of these mini PCs are just really good. And depending of course what kind of version, we're having the i5, i7, i3 series, but this is the one with the J series quad cores inside, or better known as the Celerons. Alright, so let's take a close look. We're having here the system itself, an extra manual with explanation, quick start guide. Over here we're going to get, I am guessing, the power supply. Yep, it is. So let's take a close look at what kind of power supply we're going to get, because there's always the question. So this isn't just a basic 12-volt power supply. In here we're going to get some extra goodies like mounting bracket, because you can put it behind a monitor if you want to. Of course, the needed screws for putting it on the monitor mount, and that's it. That's the only thing that we're going to get in the box. Let's take a close look at the system itself. Okay, so time for the wicked nerdy time. Yeah, because we're going to take a close look at the specifications. The CPU is the G4125 Intel Celeron 2.7 GHz quad core. The GPU is just a built-in HD 600 from Intel, 8GB of DDR4. The main storage is 128GB SSD, the second one a 2TB hard disk. There's a 2.5-inch laptop drive. Of course, 2x HDMI, 1x VGA, and we're having Windows 10 in combination with Bodashira Linux. But how is it with all of the connections, and what can we do with it? So on this side we're going to get a headphone jack out, Ethernet connection, 2x HDMI, and then we're going to get the USB port over here, that's a 2.0, and over here we're going to get the input for the power supply. So at the front we're going to get the on-off switch. We have a DF slot, we're having 3 USB ports, and over here what you can see, we're having the dongles that are like for the controllers that we're going to need. The device itself has been upgraded with a 2TB disk that will contain the Bodashira software. He is using a 2TB CAG disk for giving like excellent speed. It's not the fastest out there, but it's fast enough for using a piece of software in combination with some emulation. Of course, you can always upgrade it with SSDs in the future if they are going to be more affordable, because I think now if you need to get yourself a 2TB SSD, they will go around 170, I think 180 euros. So that's a lot of money for a basic 2TB SSD upgrade. but I think it can be having a big effect on it for the loading times. And at the left side we're going to get an VGA old school connection, and it would be really cool if you can use this machine in an old school CRT arcade machine. If it's compatible, that is up to the software. Alright, so before we're going to boot it up, the first thing that you need to do is adding the dongle for the keyboard, because we're going to need it. Putting some batteries in it, and let's boot it up. Okay, so let's boot up the system itself, and the reason why you need a keyboard is the very simple reason. We're going to get the normal BIOS boot, but then we're going to get into the option to choose yourself an operating system. So it has been set to the RetroStation PC, so if you don't do anything within 30 seconds or so, it will boot up automatically in Balashira. But here we can check out the other options. But let's check RetroStation PC to begin with. Here you can choose different settings, just choose normal, and you're good to go. Within a minute or so, you're going to get the boot sequence in combination with the load screen. And then we're ready to go. So let's take a close look at the menu itself. Okay, so first of all, the controller has been reconfigured for the system so that it's ready to go. Well, let's take a close look at the menu itself and what is this device capable of. Because I can tell you, like, when it comes to this PC edition, they are quite expensive, but you have so much compatibility with different games. So when you're comparing the Super Console X PC and all the other devices with the RetroStation PC, so the biggest difference what you're going to get with the PC edition is just we can emulate more stuff, especially when it comes to the more demanding. Think about PlayStation 2, PlayStation Portable, Wii, that are like the system that can run more games. And when it comes to MAME, there we're going to get like the more demanding games, like in Killer Instinct or Tekken will run just fine, that you can't run on a cheaper box. So compatibility with a lot of different games, combination with Balashira Linux, I think it's a really great piece of software. And yeah, but I just want to point out that you can just make this thing yourself and reconfigure this. But overall, it's a really cool piece of technology now, and yeah, you can play so much stuff. You can see even for light gun compatibility, there is so much stuff you can do with it. But I just want to scrape the surface with this review and just give you like a quick look of some high demanding emulators, because all the other stuff like the Game Boy NES 16-bit stuff will run just fine on this. Okay, let's start off with MAME. Not a really demanding game. I just want to point out that games like Tekken are super demanding, but it is still required some reconfiguration, because you see the game will boot up, it runs really slow, and there is no audio whatsoever. And this is not like that the emulator and in combination with the hardware can't run it, it's simply like a reconfiguration that's needed with the emulator itself. Okay, so next up, let's try Killer Instinct. Great example, it's the same like the Tekken games, super demanding. But this game seems to be running just fine as configured correctly. Oh, by the way, I really suck at this game. I have no idea what I'm doing here. But like Killer Instinct is a system that you can only run on a PC system like this. And Raspberry Pi 4 nowadays can also run it, but you need to overclock it like crazy. And with a PC, you don't need that. Cruising, yeah, yeah. Cruising the USA, yeah. Okay, so let's see how the game runs on the PC edition. It also is very important what kind of emulator is running on the back end. So this one is running on the Mupen, and it runs way better than all the other ones I've tried before. But we got some more juice. In combination with this, we can finally play some Cruising the USA. And when I'm trying to play this game with the same kind of emulator on a RetroStation 40K or a Super Console X, I'm always going to have issues with it. Because it does have not enough juice to run it. Woo. Woo! And the more demanding games like N64 with GoldenEye, if you can configure it correctly, we can play the game. I think I just shot him in the balls. But still, it has a minor hiccup here and there. Say hello to my little friend. Oof. Next up, Sega Dreamcast. And Sega Dreamcast, you can just play these things on a low-end system nowadays. Of course, if you're going to put it on a PC like this, we can have better resolutions, like full HD. Depending on what kind of CPU-GPU combination we're having, but we can just play Sega Dreamcast on the RetroStation PC perfectly without any issues. Next up, PlayStation 2. With a low-end system like this, some games will run just fine and some will be super slow. But sadly, this game is way too demanding, and that is what I mean with hit or miss. But here you can see that also Crash Bandicoot has some issues. It is slow Crash Bandicoot. A new way to play. Slow motion. Alright, so with PlayStation Portable I want to do the ultimate test, the God of War test. Just to see how this runs. And you can already see from the start of this game that it works very well. Of the RetroStation PC. So when you're looking at a combination of all the boxes I've reviewed here on the channel, this is more like a mid-range mini PC. And you will see this in the performance, especially when you're looking at the high-end stuff. PlayStation 3, forget about it. Wii U, some games will run, but in general, forget about it. But it's more like up to PlayStation 1, but we can play some GameCube, some Wii games. But still, it's a very powerful machine, and a lot of stuff like N64 that didn't run with the previous models, like with the normal RetroStation or Super Console X, you can play them now very good with this mini PC. It's a really awesome piece of the hardware, comes with really good controls. I was surprised to see how good these controllers actually are. Yeah, so this is what you're going to get. I want to thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and it would be great to see you in the next video, so consider subscribing and hit that little bell.